Are you tired of being the same person all the time? Do you struggle with honesty, accountability, and basic human consistency? Well, no, not anymore. Introducing the Double Life Starter Kit, the all-in-one solution for anyone looking to maintain multiple personalities without the inconvenience of integrity. With the Double Life Starter Kit, you can present yourself as loyal while messaging people behind the scenes. Smile to someone's face while setting them up in private. Say one thing publicly and the exact opposite privately. All without ever taking responsibility. But wait, it gets better. Our advanced narrative flip technology allows you to instantly become the victim the moment you're confronted. Got caught? No problem. Just activate I'm being attacked mode and watch as accountability disappears and sympathy rolls in. Worried people might compare stories? Don't be. The Double Life Starter Kit includes our patented selective memory system. Simply deny everything. Repeat confidently. And if that doesn't work, deflect. Because if you say it enough times, someone might believe you. Still not convinced? Upgrade today and receive our exclusive bonus feature. The Friendly Face Pack. Warm smiles. Trust-building tone. I'd never do that expressions. Perfect for maintaining your image, while everything else falls apart behind the scenes. And for a limited time, we're including the Accountability Avoidance Guide absolutely free. Learn how to dodge responsibility, rewrite events, turn every situation back onto someone else. But act now. Because like all systems built on deception, this one doesn't last forever. Eventually, people compare notes, patterns emerge, and the truth? It doesn't stay hidden. The Double Life Starter Kit. Because being yourself was never the plan. Works great until everyone figures you out. Disclaimer. The following documentary is intended for educational, historical, domestic violence awareness, true crime analysis, and spiritually exhausting purposes only. This story discusses domestic violence, stalking, murder, and courtroom testimony. Viewer discretion is advised. No one here is glorifying the killer, romanticizing obsession, or pretending heat of passion is an excuse for walking into a woman's wedding day with a gun. Because apparently, society needed that explained.
The Bride Who Never Made It to the Altar. The Murder of Gladys Ricart. A Pizzaverse Studios documentary. A Palermo Productions original. Written by Bambi Palermo. Narrated by Vincent DiPrio. On September 26, 1999, Gladys Ricart was supposed to walk down the aisle. She had the dress, the flowers, the bridesmaids, the photographer, the dream she had carried since childhood. Outside her Ridgefield, New Jersey home, limousines waited to take her to the church. Inside, family members laughed, posed for pictures, and prepared to celebrate a new beginning. But before Gladys Ricart could become a bride, her former boyfriend, Agustin Garcia, walked into her home. And in front of her family, her bridesmaids, and the camera meant to capture her wedding day, he shot her. What followed was not just a murder trial. It became a battle over reputation. A courtroom fight over jealousy, control, obsession, second-hand accounts, videotape evidence, and one ugly legal question. Could a man murder a woman on her wedding day and call it passion? Let's begin. The woman in the wedding dress. Gladys Ricart was 38 years old, a Dominican immigrant, a mother, an accountant, a woman who had worked hard to build a life in the United States. She came from humble beginnings, raised her son Davis, learned English, studied accounting, and climbed her way into a stable career. To her family, Gladys was ambitious, stylish, generous, and full of life. She loved the idea of a beautiful wedding, not just a ceremony, a dream. And when she met James Preston, that dream finally seemed close enough to touch. James offered her the wedding she had always imagined. A new life. A chance to move forward. But standing in the shadow of that future was her former boyfriend, Agustin Garcia. The ex who would not let go. Agustin Garcia was not seen by everyone as a monster. That is part of what made the case complicated. In the Dominican community, he was known as a businessman and community figure. He had money, connections, respect. The kind of public reputation that makes people say, "Not him." Yeah. That guy. Gladys and Agustin had been involved for years. Their relationship was stormy. Family members later described him as controlling and possessive. Second-hand accounts from relatives and investigators painted a picture of a man who did not want Gladys to move on. Gladys reportedly complained about his behavior. She knew about his alleged affairs. She had ended the relationship. And by 1999, she was engaged to James Preston. But Garcia, according to investigators, appeared unwilling to accept that. Neighbors reportedly saw him near her home. Police had already been called after an incident where he showed up at her house and became violent. Still, Gladys continued planning her wedding. Because sometimes people hope the storm is over, until it comes through the front door. The wedding day. On the morning of September 26, 1999, Gladys was surrounded by family. Her nieces were bridesmaids. Her son Davis was supposed to walk her down the aisle. The photographer and videographer captured the preparations. Gladys posed with flowers, with her family, with her wedding dress. The house was full of excitement. Outside, the limousines waited. Then family members noticed something disturbing. Agustin Garcia was circling the neighborhood. Some people considered warning Gladys. Others feared it would ruin the wedding. Then Garcia parked nearby and walked toward the house. He claimed he had been invited. He had not. Seconds later, he entered, Then came the gunshots. Gladys Ricart was shot in her wedding dress. Her brother Juan fought Garcia. Bridesmaids and children fled the house. Police arrived within minutes. Gladys was pronounced dead at the scene. The wedding video had become evidence, and the wedding day had become a crime scene. The tape that changed everything. Investigators quickly learned that the killing had been captured by the wedding videographer. That tape became one of the most important pieces of evidence in the case. There was no mystery over who fired the gun. Agustin Garcia was arrested at the scene. The legal fight became about why he did it. The defense argued passion. The prosecution argued murder. Garcia's attorneys claimed he had been shocked to discover Gladys was getting married. They said he believed their relationship was still ongoing. They pointed to surveillance video from a grocery store the night before the wedding, showing Gladys and Garcia together. The defense said it proved intimacy. The prosecution said it showed stalking and pressure. Two sides. One tape. One dead woman. And a courtroom full of people trying to decide whether obsession was being dressed up as heartbreak. The passion provocation defense. The defense leaned on what is known as the passion provocation defense. In simple terms, it argues that a person committed a killing in an extreme emotional state before having time to cool off. It wasn't my fault, Judge. I was upset. If accepted, that can reduce murder to manslaughter. Translation? The defense was asking the jury to believe Garcia snapped, that he was overwhelmed, that he acted in the heat of passion. The prosecution had another theory. They argued Garcia had time to leave. He saw the wedding preparations. He saw the limousines. He saw the bridesmaids. He could have turned around. Instead, he walked inside with a gun. And not just a gun. Evidence showed he had extra bullets. That little detail does not exactly scream, "Oopsie, I got emotional." Guilty of murder. On October 22, 2001, after one day of deliberations, the jury returned its verdict. Guilty of murder. The jurors did not accept the passion provocation defense. They believed Garcia had time to stop, time to leave, time to choose anything other than violence. On February 1, 2002, Agustin Garcia was sentenced to life in prison with the possibility of parole after 30 years. For Gladys Ricart's family, the verdict brought relief. But relief is not restoration. It does not bring back the woman in the wedding dress. It does not undo what her family saw. It does not erase the smear campaign that followed her death. But it did say one thing clearly. A woman ending a relationship is not provocation. A woman getting married is not provocation. A man's jealousy is not a defense. The Bride's March. After Gladys's death, her wedding dress became a symbol. Women dressed as brides began marching against domestic violence. They carried her photograph. They carried her memory. They marched so other women would not be reduced to headlines, evidence, or courtroom arguments. The Bride's March became a statement, a warning. A public refusal to let Gladys Ricart be remembered only by the violence that ended her life. She became more than a victim. She became a symbol of what happens when control is mistaken for love, when obsession is excused as passion, when warning signs are treated like drama instead of danger. Gladys Ricart should have been remembered for her wedding day because she was happy, because she was loved, because she was beginning again. Instead, her name became tied to one of the most disturbing domestic violence cases in modern American true crime. But the truth is simple. Gladys did not cause her own murder. She did not provoke her own death. She was not responsible for the rage of a man who refused to let go. The courtroom heard the arguments. The jury saw the tape. And in the end, they called it what it was: murder. Not passion. Not romance. Not heartbreak. Murder. And that distinction matters. Because women do not owe men ownership. They do not owe them forgiveness. They do not owe them access. And they sure as hell do not owe them their lives. If you want more historical true crime, organized crime analysis, dark documentaries, sarcastic disclaimers, and stories where we drag the truth out by the collar like it owes us money, make sure you like, subscribe, and join the Pizzaverse. This is where we cover the stories polite society likes to whisper about. We do the research. We bring the receipts. And we don't let the dead get talked over by the loudest liar in the room. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. And most importantly, thank you for remembering Gladys Ricart as more than the crime committed against her. She was a mother, a daughter, a sister, a bride, a woman with a future. And that future was stolen. May her memory continue to speak for every woman who tried to leave, tried to start over, and deserved to survive. This has been a Pizzaverse Studios documentary, written by Bambi Palermo, narrated by Vincent DiPrio. And as always, stay sharp, trust your gut, and never confuse control with love. Tired of your Gomar ratting you out to the feds? Sick of your capo sweating you over that missing envelope? Or maybe you just need to sleep through a sit-down like it's a spa day in Sicily. Introducing Gonezo, the only sleeping pill approved by 3 out of 5 mob doctors and 1 very tired consigliere. One pill and bam, like you got hit with a blackjack behind Rocco's. But you wake up fresh, no bruises, no wiretaps, and no regrets. Real customer testimony. I took Gonezo before my arraignment. Woke up in Tijuana with a new name and a suitcase full of counterfeit 20s, 5 stars. Gino the Fork Abatacola. Now with our patented forget about it formula, Gonezo erases shame, guilt, and 3 to 5 hours of your last regrettable night at the Velvet Lounge. Warning, side effects may include sudden urges to flee the country, thinking you're bulletproof, marrying your Gumar's cousin during a blackout in Atlantic City. Ask your bookie if Gonezo is right for you, or don't. He's probably already on it. Gonezo, sleep like you ain't got priors.
I've gotta keep the calm before the storm. I don't want less, I don't want more. Must bar the windows and the doors to keep me safe, to keep me warm. Yeah, my life is what I'm fighting for. Can't part the sea, can't reach the shore.